I get the wrong one. Here's the other. Much groovier.
I said everybody got two intros in
Two
one.
intro.
That's
the
bonus intro.
Buy one, get one.
I did the wrong one.
Crack live producer.
Hey guys, I've been doing this for years.
Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. Hey,
well, this is like our 60th fucking show or some shit like
that.
Right?
Yeah.
30th live show or yeah.
I don't know if it's I think
it's not the 30th.
We haven't done live streams that much, have we?
No, we got 30 full length shows or produced shows, and then this is like 20.
I think probably like 20 live streams or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered something.
Jesus Christ!
Oh my God! Why is that an emergency? Scared.
Fuck Mike Flynn.
Hey, so I want to welcome everybody to Rad Pod and Chill. As you can see, the gentlemen have already been doing some pre-chilling. I have a breaking news. My nails are all done. I was in the room at time. It would be great if we actually brought our friends in before we actually go live, because it's kind of like a comedy hour. So it was a slow news week, LOL.
Not my
What happened this week?
So I'll tell you one thing that happened. It turns out that your girl right here is incredibly coherent at 4:30 in the morning, California time. I did an interview with Byline's podcast at 4:30 a.m. my time yesterday morning to offer some fresh perspective, thanks to all my smart friends, on the Thursday hearing. And I hope that we're going to talk a bit about that. We have a lot to talk about, but holy cow.
You think we're going to talk about the hearings? Yeah,
I think so. I think so.
What hearings?
There's some good fascist fodder there.
Well, look, I mean, I think I said in the Byline Times that it was like that shit was beyond history, right?
Yeah.
Like broke history. It's just fucking crazy. Think about it.
Yeah.
This fucking guy was intentionally trying to get as many armed people, that's new, very fucking important. He wanted to remove the magnetometers and he wanted to go to the Capitol with them. Now, just imagine in your mind this fucking actual scene, right? You've got Proud Boys and Oath Keepers and a bunch of just MAGA QAnon weirdos behind him, and they're running up there with AR-15s against armed Capitol police officers, fucking snipers on the roofs all over the fucking place, right?
Right.
They're walking Trump into a bloodbath.
Right.
In the pursuit of decapitating the entire government, maybe even Trump, right? Like he's putting himself in a really, oh my God, fuck you, take that off, take it off. Give me PTSD. Don't do that.
Jim
that
needs
was
a
the
moment.
first time I've ever wanted to punch Sean. Holy shit.
Jim's going to need a moment to recover, and while he takes that moment, I'm going to quote his platonic girlfriend, Liz Cheney, when she basically said that the security services on January 6th, prior to the insurrection, confiscated pepper spray, knives, brass knuckles, tasers, body armor, gas masks, batons, blunt weapons, and those were just for the people who chose to go through the security for the president's events at the on the ellipse.
Chose to go through security.
Yeah. Yeah, that did not mention
What
the
fuck
AR.
kind of security are we talking about?
He gives them the security blanket that they're so loved they can show up like that. And then of course we heard the police radio transmissions
Well, but
revealing
the
protesters.
thing where there's thousands of people
radio transmissions,
outside the gates where the magnetometers are. Like
Yeah.
picture this. Like that's what
Yeah.
they were saying. Is
Yeah.
there was a shitload of people, and Trump was real mad because
Yeah.
there were thousands of people out here with guns
Yeah.
that he wanted to be in the crowd, right?
Yeah.
So he said, "Get rid of the fucking mags. They're not here to shoot me.
They're not here to hurt me."
To hurt me, yeah.
And we heard the radio transmissions with the AR-15s, the rifles, and the Glock style pistols. So those actually were identified as well.
And the brown cowboy boots.
They wanted a bloodbath.
Yes, I saw that.
Bloodbath.
It's hard to climb trees with cowboy boots, but still.
Yes.
But let's game this out. Let's game this out here. Let's game it out. Let's see.
Okay, I'm with you. We're gonna go back and forth.
Let's just give Sean a chuckle, please.
No.
Sean,
we love Sean.
Your subtle humor, your Texas humor, it's just beautiful.
It's the cowboy. That's what it was a little detail that I was like, man, that's hard.
Right.
He was determined.
Oh, what happened to Hi-Fi?
I kicked him out. He said a bad word.
No, so Jim, go ahead. There's Hi-Fi. Hi-Fi.
We're gaming this shit out. You ready?
What was you saying, Hi-Fi?
We're gonna game this out. Let's say there was a bloodbath. Let's say politicians did get killed.
Yes.
What happens next? What does the president do? Jim.
First of all, who's the president?
Trump. At this point in time, before the vote is counted,
I understand. Right.
Martial law. Yeah.
But regardless, so here's the crazy part, right? And this is where it gets weird. Look at the order of succession, right? You got Trump, and then Pence, Pelosi, Chuck Grassley, because he's Speaker pro tem, which is the oldest guy in the Senate. That's like the job. Like if you're old, you get to be fourth in line. It's fucking insane. And then it's Pompeo. So as Gal Suburban, I don't know if she's here yet or not, but as she figured out, and I helped write, Pompeo was very, very deeply involved in the plan to overthrow the government. Mostly Plan A, which was the non-violent one, but he was absolutely deep in that whole thing. And Pompeo gets in there. Flynn's his VP. They're putting the president of the United States intentionally into a firefight.
Yeah.
That I mean, there's a reason the Secret Service didn't allow that to happen, but I also find that a very strange thing for his allies to have him do. Well,
so I have a few things I want to say, but Hi-Fi, did you want to spit something?
Keep gaming it.
So you said Pompeo was very deep into the overthrowing our government. I would like to remind our listeners that Pompeo, or as I prefer to call him, Mr. Gold Nut Bowl, he met with Netanyahu and Crown Prince Bonesaw on a yacht in the Red Sea. And what happened shortly thereafter? A plot to overthrow the king of Jordan was foiled.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how did Jordan come in here? You got to unpack that for people.
MBS, Netanyahu, and Pompeo got together and were working with one of the princes of Jordan to overthrow the king of Jordan. These people have no problem overthrowing fucking governments.
Oh, no, they do this shit all the time. This is like countries and entire societies are just pieces on the board.
Yeah.
You can sacrifice them. You can fucking take them. You can do all kinds of stuff that you do. I mean, that is indeed the game that they're playing, and it's part of one of the things that just a tiny little look into the future, what Gal and I are looking at is like, what was the plan for after, right? Because they wanted it to succeed, right? Like Trump wanted the guns.
Yeah.
They
Desperately.
they wanted to literally overthrow the government. Now, what the fuck were they going to do on January 7th, right?
Sure.
So they've decapitated the government, Trump or Pompeo or whoever, Chuck Grassley, I don't know, whoever the fuck is president at that point, right? A bunch of Congress people are dead. It's just like fucking mayhem, right? Yeah. What is their plan to control the country after that? Because they clearly planned to take the government over, and Mike Flynn is he has taken countries over, and I don't think he would have left those things out, and I don't think he did. So that's a little preview into what we're working on.
So I'd like to jump around a little bit because there's so much. What did you say? What?
The 5th.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The 5th. Yeah.
I said the 5th.
Well, the 5th. I said the 5th.
Well.
Yeah, we can't jump around. No jumping.
Where did you want to jump to?
Chill. I'm kidding. Go.
I'm chilling.
I want to jump around. I want to jump around. Yeah, sure. The talent is all over the page of the Byline Times right now with his incredibly brilliant, insightful quotes that I get to then share on the radio shows. And so, by the way, I was interviewed on Monique's show, so I officially am going to be on Italian TV. And Jim, you're coming up next. She's going to reach out to you, our friend Monique Camara from Kremlin Files.
Oh my God!
Really cool. I know. I
will just listen. I will just I will just want to listen to her talk. I love that person. The zeroist of fucks in the entire world, and also nice as shit.
Yeah. She was our guest for episode 30.
Genius. Gets it, all of it.
She was our guest for episode 30, which I'm sure we'll we'll talk a little bit about. But what's incredible about Monique is that not only is she so well versed in what's happening in Ukraine, what's happening in Italy, what's happening in America, but she is one of maybe only 2 people, her partner, who she actually met on Twitter, doing the type of work that they're doing in Italy. And it's really incredible. It's a very, very small group that's hyper-focused on the growing fascist coup that's occurring. But what's so cool is when I was on her show, I understood Italian. Like, miraculously, I knew what she was saying. It's so wild. The show's recorded in English, but they do talk to their audience periodically in Italian. But because she speaks slowly and enunciate, and I know enough Spanish, I couldn't believe it. I actually could understand it. It was like a really cool miracle.
Italian it's really easy. You can speak it too. It's very easy.
It's so cool. It's so cool. So here's what I want to say, because I know we're going to be talking more about the hearings, but I was today years old when the Supreme Court tried to dismantle our government. And I do want to talk a bit about that, because it's very clear, as you guys know, because Jim is the one who's coined them as domestic terrorists, that we sincerely are watching the dismantling of our government in real time, as they, like, I think it was Jim who talked about Old Testament, New Testament division, as they are actually preparing essentially our country for some inevitable civil war. And I call bullshit, and I would like all our friends to call bullshit too, and to figure out what we're going to do about this. I think it was Brent Allpress, who's also quoted in multiple of my Byline Times stories recently. He said that, of course, we know that some of these gangster, creepy Congress people tried to get pardons. We need to go after them and get rid of them and get them out of our Congress if we have a chance of actually taking our government back, period.
Absolutely. Look, here's the thing. When a whole bunch of politicians like do traitor shit, right? Those politicians have to go. if the if the country works at all, and it's starting to look, it's starting to. So let's get to just a little bit of the good news for a sec,
please.
because it seems to me that the January 6th committee is not fucking around after all, and not just focusing on Trump at all, right? And we'll talk about that for a second. But it also, and I have to say this out loud, like Merrick Garland, maybe I was totally wrong about you. It's possible. Please prove me wrong. Because the last couple moves that dude made were gangster. Like straight up fucking gangster. Like how you treat like dirty Italian mafia bosses.
Eastman on the street, bro.
Any kind of mafia
street.
Like, he had the dude in his fucking PJs in front of his neighbors at 5 o'clock in the morning going like, what the fuck are all the cops here? Oh, it's our traitor neighbor. That is gangster as fuck. And they did it on the day that they were doing the hearing about it, which is amazing. Also, they got a fucking warrant to use John Eastman's face to unlock his phone, and they fucking did it. They rolled up on him and they were like, give me your phone and show me your fucking face. And unlocked his phone. And both of those are the actions of a DOJ that's honestly not fucking around. So that in conjunction with, and then I'll shut up, the last sort of mic drop of the hearing was not just the one before that, or not just Cassidy, it's Flynn, right? It's Flynn and Stone. And they brought them up in the context of Cassidy Hutchinson. Now, why is that important? That's important because Cassidy Hutchinson said that Mark Meadows spoke to Roger Stone and Michael Flynn on January 5th. Now, also, they mentioned at length for some reason that there was a mystery phone call in the back of the fucking van or whatever he was in that he didn't let her listen to, which was very unusual, and that there were 2 of those calls. Now, I'm going to give you 1 or 2 guesses who those 2 people are. And that is the critical juncture, right? It's taking all this Trump shit over here with the fucking lawyers and Meadows and whoever. And then you've got the Willard and Roger and Oath Keepers and all those fucking weirdos who, by the way, got charged with seditious conspiracy, which is incredibly important.
Yeah.
Here we go, anagram.
We're ready for our first anagram. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh, hell yes.
There you go.
It's gonna be wild, kids. It's gonna be wild.
And Meadows, we found out wanted to go. If he didn't, we don't know. I don't know if he did. If that he didn't. So what we have here is the next. They mic dropped before the second half of the hearings at the nexus between these 2 stories that they've been developing, or that they've mostly been developing this one, but there's this whole other one over here that they just dropped the mic about. Like that Flynn thing was genius, man. That makes him look like who can defend that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Flynn did, but that's it. That's the only person I've heard.
Who can defend a general who takes the fifth on whether or not we should have a peaceful transfer of government and whether or not, it's okay to, have a violence at the Capitol? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, so it was bizarre.
What the hell?
And so we started
general.
when in chat I was telling you guys high five when she started picking out that the Cassidy Hutchinson campaign had started against her, and it reminded me of one of the first trials I was in, where the first lesson I learned was you always make friends with the receptionists, always make friends with the assistants, always make friends with the court reporter. And it's those people know more than anything in any office that you work in. Whoever the assistants are, they're going to know all the skeletons. They're going to know where everything's buried.
And they're going to get you in. And they're
the ones, technically, they're the ones with a whole lot of power. You know, like my point in this is to say that the common strike against her, oh, she's such a junior level. She's such a junior level. Well, those junior levels know everything. They're the ones that run all the shit. They're the ones that do all the dirty work. They clean up all the shit.
To the chief of staff of the president of the United States is not a junior position.
Well,
yes,
he was in all the fucking meetings. No, I mean, chief of staff to a major White House advisor is still a big deal.
And just because they're involved in every project, they're ultimately the assistants, as I'm sure a lot of you know, end up doing so much of the work, you know, and getting none of the credit. So they have their fingers in almost everything because they want to scapegoat them whenever something goes wrong.
Right.
So they always have some modicum of responsibility on everything that happens in the office.
But the other thing is, it's just being a decent human being. Being a decent human being means that you are friends with the receptionist and the security guards and everybody who makes machines run. And but you know, they're just doing the usual gangster tricks. But I do want to quote our friend, former federal agent Martin Scheel, and what he had to say about Donald Trump, because he believes that this is a potential lethal blow to Trump's future freedom. Because he says, knowing that the crowd is armed puts him in a tough spot with regard to potential seditious conspiracy charges, because he had knowledge that many of the January 6 attendees were armed, and he directed them to the Capitol.
Yeah,
so
Trump is in the middle of the seditious conspiracy along with a few other people, right?
Yes.
I think that has been pretty well fucking established as far as I'm concerned. But here's the part. Here's the thing that was worrying me about the focus on Trump, is that if they just go after Trump, they're just leaving the rest of it to fucking keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was why I was so stoked about that fucking thing. Not only because of the way they nuked Trump, but because it was very, very clear that they were going after the actual conspiracy, the people who planned it. Trump had no fucking idea. He was not planning any of that. Like, Flynn came in with like a fucking document and was like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to fucking go in this way and we're going to kill Nancy. And we're going to I mean, it was that dark.
Except that Trump is a micromanager, so whatever the deal is, he knew about it. I know exactly. I know exactly 100%. What that.
Which is why he was so mad that they wouldn't take him to the Capitol, because that was in his head, and he doesn't know what to do with somebody telling him not to do something. Yes,
he's pointing at himself over here.
My turn. My turn.
That's what this means.
With regards to Eastman, I would like to remind our listeners, especially in an age where data can be used against you, turn off facial recognition on your phone and go to just a PIN code. All right? Just a PIN. They can't force you to unlock your phone, but if you have a biometric, they can use that. Right? So keep that in mind.
Really nice of you to give a shit about Eastman. I rescind that.
Look, it's the result of his face turning on his phone.
No, this is the Roe versus Wade and period tracking apps being deleted and people looking up abortion clinics on their phone.
Yeah.
Security is something we're going
to. Make that clear that it's not that you are sympathetic toward John Eastman, who is an insurrectionist.
I hope that he rots in prison. No, I'm
Get to number two, because I want to say something. Get to number two.
Okay.
What's number two?
Number two is, you know that Cassidy Hutchinson is right on target, because the first thing that fucking Trump says was, I don't even know this person.
Right.
What did he say about Papadopoulos? I don't even know this person.
Confetti boy.
What did he say about Michael Cohen? He was like, he's like some lawyer. Like,
what about Felix Sater? Felix Sater, who had a business card, for the Trump
Right.
organization.
He was an employee.
But wait, there's
We
more.
got 2 months.
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
Wait, there's more. Wait, there's more. We got to talk a little bit about Rudy. And I'm going back to what Marty said that I quoted in Byline Times. Rudy Giuliani's big mouth continues to work against his interests. Oh, hell to the yes. You would think these guys would have learned something about Omerta. They have not. Rudy Giuliani's big mouth. Rudy, we now know, had foreknowledge of the events that day. Thank you, Cassidy, for telling us that, Rudy, who wanted trial by combat, knew what was going to happen that day. So his big mouth.
Rudy's fucking Rudy, man. Like, anybody who includes Rudy in their plan deserves what they get. He's gonna butt dial his way into everything. So listen, for future reference, criminals don't recommend the services of Rudy Giuliani. He doesn't have a law license anyway, so
he can't practice law right now.
An old convict suit. Like, that fucker is like, Rudy Giuliani has done so much damage to the world. And I know there's this fucking fantasy about him and America's mayor and shit like that. That's all fucking bullshit. He was he was a monster during that period. And But
it's interesting because the one who Marty does say in the 80s when he worked with him that he really was brilliant. And he's eroded himself over time. He got a taste of the high life, a taste of the mob life, a taste of too much.
He might have been smart, but he was a fucking a Russian mafia guy for 50 years. I mean,
that's it right there.
Now he's selling cigars on his podcast.
He got info from the Russian mob to take down the Italian mob. That's how he became America's mayor.
And on the other side, Donald Trump got himself out of all of his financial shit by taking money from Russians.
Yeah, that's why he loves them so much.
Donald Trump and Giuliani are the perfect match because Putin's like, oh, here, you two idiots, fucking go
overthrow your government.
I just want to go on the record, though, that Jim said that you started to say, and I just want to make it clear to our viewers that Rudy Giuliani is going to butt dial his way into prison. That is like a genius line. That'll be the takeaway for me from this episode. Hold
on real fast. Junior is a train wreck too. What does he do all day? No idea.
Which Junior?
He's talking
Mike
about
Flynn Jr. or Trump Jr.?
Trump Jr. Oh, probably. No, Giuliani Jr. There's so many juniors.
Giuliani.
Andrew Giuliani is the dumbest, worst, like most pathetic, sad little schlub on planet Earth. And it is astonishing that they are actually putting this guy up there. And the reason is because he's the only one at this point who's going to try hitching his fucking wagon to that whole train.
They need to look for pardons in their. They need to.
I don't need to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that anymore.
He's selling his cigars.
You keep traumatizing me, Sean. I need warnings. I need some.
You guys are closed on.
Wait a minute. Who are you? Me? Like, who are you?
I'm augmenting the conversation with some visual, background imagery.
Speaking of digital imagery,
hypnotize me.
Speaking of digital imagery, which we are not going to show, Sharon and I did a story today, and I believe, Jim, you were also quoted in that story about the misogyny and the full-on misogyny and the full-on white supremacist response to Roe. And I'm going to try to pull it up right now. But Sharon did what she does, and she went undercover on Telegram. And what she saw was the kind of grotesque Russian propaganda that we saw, the memes I'm specifically talking about, that we saw in 2016. It was so ugly and so grotesque. And, Boozy said a lot of it's domestic. Jim said this is probably, a joint effort.
It's mostly domestic, but the influences are from Russian propaganda.
Right.
You got to make there's a difference between Russian propaganda and Russians doing propaganda, and that the difference
Right.
between those two things is something that people with bad intentions exploit all the time. Oh, you mean you're calling me a Russian agent? Like, no, I'm not. Like, what I'm saying is that you're a fucking idiot and you're pushing Russian propaganda. And what I mean by that is propaganda that tears down America and benefits Vladimir Putin. That's what I mean by Russian propaganda. So you got to be careful about what you mean. I call people Russian propagandists, and I don't mean they're Russian.
Yeah.
I mean they're propagandists who do Russian propaganda.
So you guys,
speaking of weaponization, can we just point out how great fucking Monique's idea of the weaponization of everything?
she and I are actually writing that together.
It's fucking nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is,
that.
right? It's the fire hose of shit. It's the Gerasimov doctrine, which is about attacking an enemy, everywhere. It's about Michael Aquino's mind war, which I've written a lot about, which influenced Flynn and was written 40 years ago, and is about psyoping an entire society into attacking itself, basically, or at least submitting. Either you have it attack itself or you make it submit, and that's what they're trying to do to us right now, and it's a very important concept.
I would like to point out also the weaponization of everything. The acronym for that is WOE. I think that's great.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, so the mocking of women was very, very deep on the, telegrams and the TikToks, the TikTok channel, No White Guilt, and, so all the type of misogyny that you guys have seen, and documented in the last, few years, where you trace back the origins and how misogyny was weaponized, is being...
Yeah, I mean, it became a favorite radicalization trope on the internet, in 2011, 2012. I mean, way before that on the Chans, right? Absolutely, hi-fi, I hear you. But when the incel shit hit, like, in 2012, and then that turned into Gamergate, that's when it really ramped, right? So yes, origins are 4chan. The origins are all the way back to the origins of the species, right? But there was a huge, radicalization of both left and right into misogynistic ideologies that took place around Gamergate. There was an incel movement that led up to it. Then there was Gamergate. Then there was the alt-right, and then there was what I call the alt-left, which is Chapo Trap House and all those fucking trolling farms on the left that also think that if you mention Russia, you're completely out of your fucking mind.
So if you can pull up that story, I want to point out something that Christopher Boozy said about what's happening on the Twitter sphere with Roe. He mentioned that right after the 24-hour period, right after Roe was overturned, and keep in mind, that wasn't even a week ago. This is how fast our news cycle is going right now. That there were accounts that were intentionally trying to dissuade people from voting in November. Why bother voting now? All is already lost. Voting won't change anything, which we know is bullshit, which we know follows exactly the MO that occurred in 2016. And I think that I think Jim had the last line on this. Demanding that Biden shuts down Telegram, and also just very much knowing that, that this is the digital poison needs to be turned off, and also what's going to come next are the attacks on.
Voter suppression has been around for a long time, right? But they do it, and they've done it in lots of different ways. This is voter suppression by nihilism, right? It's like it doesn't fucking, none of it matter. Like, it's all so fucked up, and it's easy for totally normal people to feel that way. It is so fucked up I gotta, and I have friends that just can't even, they can't even approach what's going on at all because it's so foreign and traumatizing to them.
Right.
You know, and that's part of the idea.
I told you that when I marched last week, I made friends with an immigrant. I think I told you guys this, who told me that he's marching with me. So when they come for him, I'll march with him. And that's our mindset now. They're coming for everybody, guys. They're coming for everybody. So, you know, stop sitting it out if you're sitting it out.
I'm coming for them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You're wearing my favorite shirt.
Well, that's I mean, we have to start. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's going to be on Twitter in fucking 10 seconds. Go Dubs.
Go Willie. Go Willie.
Johnny Cash. Are you wearing Willie?
Willie in the moon.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Full
moon Willie.
Yeah, I know.
Still,
I got my Willie Austin shirt.
Still playing.
Still being cool.
Singing.
Why are more old white people like Willie Nelson instead of like Mitch McConnell?
Very few people.
Because Mitch don't smoke weed, is my guess.
We were,
that's the problem.
I was just in a room with Gal, and we saw this thing it was the Charlie Daniels Patriot Awards dinner.
Oh no!
And it was a bunch of these fucking
Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniels is, and there's like pictures.
I know
Flynn and Charlie Daniels, like he's deep in that shit, man.
Oh no!
Oh yes,
it's you know, it's like he's got that one song with the devil and stuff, which is great.
Devil Went Down in Georgia will always be a classic. I don't care.
100%. I love that song.
Yeah.
But he should have fucking quit while he was ahead, man. Now he's doing the Patriot Awards, and he's giving awards to people who go.
I'm sure he's getting paid.
Brainwash and traumatize and infiltrate shit. Like it's crazy.
Damn it.
He's part of Slafley's pigeons.
So can we talk about? I sent it to you.
No.
Connor, I sent this to you, but I don't know if you still have it.
That was disinfo.
I would love to look at the faces of everybody who asked for a pardon that we found out about in just the last few days, because they have one thing in common. They have a few things in common.
Well, not only them, but the people who got pardons, like General fucking Flynn.
Yeah.
I can't even believe I said that. Not General, whatever the fuck he is.
He's Lieutenant General retired Michael Flynn.
Yes, I know that. I know.
Hopefully soon to be court-martialed and busted down to fucking private.
Oh, well,
he should be court-martialed immediately. He should fucking have all of his shit taken, all the fucking doodads on his front taken away, and he should be fucking put in the brig or whatever the hell you call it in the army, and then he needs to have a court-martial.
And Department of Defense, if you're fucking listening, do something about Charles Flynn too, because he has 90,000 fucking troops.
Yeah, there's something.
That's when we get to the real boss level, right? When Charles Flynn starts making some move with the U.S. Army Pacific, that's when we know shit is really hitting the fan. And look, let's be clear. They are like, there's a lot of people on the right wing trying to turn up shit in Taiwan. Like they are all pushing for war with China in Taiwan, and
wouldn't that be a nice distraction?
Charles would be the guy to take his 90,000 troops to that location, and he would be deciding what is the correct strategy to deal with this situation on the ground. And he could make any fucking decision he wants, including attacking China. And then Bob's your uncle, we're in World War III.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not a crazy scenario at all. He made sure the Capitol was undefended on January 6th.
Yeah.
And the DOD lied about it.
Yeah.
The Army lied. Yes. The fucking Army did.
Yeah.
We need some house cleaning. That's what we fucking need.
We do, but look, this is very complex, right? Because you've got a lot of people and a lot of different levels of
Wow.
electricity, all up and down, this entire structure, and so
Wow.
what they're trying to do is very difficult, right? It's take a bunch of these pieces out of the Jenga and have it not fucking fall down, right?
Do you know
And
what Hi-Fi
it's
told me
all
when
about
we
what
first
order
met?
do you do it in, how carefully do you do it, right? Like some of them you got to pull real fast. It's like
Yeah.
that kind of problem, and it's challenging. And I
So
don't
when
know what now. Shut up.
No, it's okay. It's lovely. Hi-Fi, when he and I first became friends, he assured me that we were going to start seeing a lot of activity around the summer of 2022, and it would include arrests and raids and all this stuff. And I was like hanging on his every word, like, really? You think so? Because I was like, by then it already felt way too late and way too close to the midterms. And Hi-Fi and Z, what's happening? We got some raids, we got some, we
I mean
got actually.
that was a message. That was a message to them that he sees them as gangsters.
Yeah.
That was that message. That was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I found a criminal conspiracy, and now
Yeah.
I'm going to take you motherfuckers out. Now,
Yeah.
how well that actually gets executed, I don't know, but that was the unmistakable message of that, and
Right.
that is what we need. We need offense. We need to
Yeah.
say, no, you
Yeah.
don't. Not in America. You don't do that. And then Biden made a move today on abortion, which is good. He was suddenly clear about what everybody else already fucking knew, which is that the filibuster needs to be removed,
Yeah.
if not for everything, for this and a
Yeah.
bunch of other
Right.
shit.
It's for Marie. Marie, I think it's under government. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So we learned from our friend from Rand, Ryan Brown, that the most dangerous times for radicalization of the military are when they're on their way in and on their way out. And so those are two things that now that we have this intel that we have to work
No
on as a
problem.
country, take better care of our military people when they're coming out of the military, and make sure that we're paying attention to them on the way in. As he was saying, they get in and suddenly they're, in a barrack with all kinds of people from all kinds of different parts of the country, and they may not have been exposed to that before. And I think that's an interesting point. They're going to obviously do more research, and of course, as Jim was saying, we have concerns about Flynn. But can you put that picture up again that you just had up there that had Go Merton Green and Gates? I just want to look at these people, because there's actually more. This isn't all of them, but it's.
No, this is 1 second. Do you want me to
it's
get all of
enough.
them?
I mean, there's Biggs, Perry, Bobert, fucking. I mean, Jesus, there's dozens.
That asked for the pardons.
They asked for pardons. I see.
Yeah.
So
Louis
let's
I bet you. I think.
let's just start with these guys.
These are the ones
Meadows.
So we
Meadows
know
did.
that they asked for pardons, correct? And
Correct.
that means that they know that they were perpetuating the corruption of the big lie, which was nothing more than just corruption.
No, more
And
specifically, Heidi, they knew they were committing crimes.
so they knew they were committing crimes. So I think that our challenge, to our friends on the Hill, is that these fuckers need to go. They need to go. They all need to go. They all need to go, get their papers, get served, and just move the fuck along. All of them.
They need
Man,
to go.
what's going on with this guy's? Like, how come Gates is? I mean, that's.
Yeah, I think Gal might have some things to say about that.
Ooh, Matt Gates, Gal. Drop some.
But wait a second. As we know, a lot of people who were drawn to Trump have a comfort level for fraud. They committed in their own life. They are criminals. And Gates would be a great example. We all know that he Venmo'd underage women for sex. That's criminal, correct?
Oh yeah.
We know that the troll, on the bottom there,
Yes.
terrorized people from Parkland who had already been terrorized.
And then complains that she's being stalked by someone who's just, oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry.
We know that these people are not fit for, no, she is a very dangerous propagandist. She's a professional propagandist, like Trump is a professional propagandist. These are dangerous, dangerous people. So I think it's important that we look at them, we acknowledge this, and we I think it's very important, like Allpress was saying, is we put our focus on where we can make an impact. And if we can get rid of the members of Congress who are criminals, who were part of the attempt to overthrow, the election and this coup, then we can actually perhaps get more of a functional Congress.
Let me build on that, because there's also, in my opinion, an even more important thing we can do, but along those lines, which is to charge Ginny Thomas seditious conspiracy, because once you do that, her fucking husband, like, here's the other thing that Gal figured out, is that the lawyer for Ginny Thompson is Clarence's like best buddy. Like, literally, there's pictures of him in a fucking RV together, like going on vacation. Like, Ginny's lawyer is Clarence's like BFF. So you've got no coverage here. You're fucking conspiring with a seditious conspiracist, or at a minimum, you knew about it, which means I don't give a fuck. He's got to go immediately, straight up, once they charge her, which has to happen. That is the single most like baller move that can be made here, because it will take a huge chunk out of what they're trying to do. Some of the most extreme shit, will at least be slowed down, and then we can go after fucking Amy, and we can go after Brett and these other motherfuckers who have no business.
They're not fit for purpose. They can then go back to their Christo-fascist. They can go back to their Christo-fascist. Well, that's what I'm saying. They can go back to their Christo-fascist churches, and they can go, hang out with people in their community, and no longer try to dismantle our government.
Do we know what is the process? Is the process for impeaching a justice the same as a presidential impeachment?
Yep.
It's the same process. It's the House and then the Senate.
Yep. Yeah.
So I've been studying this too. Other countries, other democratic countries, have term limits for their highest level.
It should be term limits for life.
So 12 years. Some have 12-year term limits. Some term out at the age of 68. So
here's the thing.
We can do things, guys.
Yes, here's the thing. The Supreme that rule that it's lifetime makes sense when the average age of death is like 36, which is what it was in the fucking late 1700s, right? They weren't thinking about Brett fucking Kavanaugh rolling in here with 50 years of fucking I like beer and just doing the business of a bunch of fascists. Like, that was not in the fucking plan, and we need to adjust. We need to adjust for the fact that this happened.
Right. One of our viewers just noted the supermajority. How many seditionist members of Congress? Here's a math question. How many seditionist members of Congress do we have to kick out in order for us to have a functional government? It's kind of a word problem. Like, how many do we need to get rid of?
Well, it depends. So you get rid of the senators, right? But then, they're almost all in Republican states.
Jocelyn has an answer. 148.
148.
Okay.
148. Oh, majority for the House?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. The House is just half and half.
Okay. All right. So.
Can I ask a question? I need to point something out real fast. We're talking about the Supreme Court, and now it's been captured and everything.
Ooh, 148 voted to decertify the election. Okay, good to know. They all need to go. They all need to go.
Yeah, all of them.
Okay. Okay. High
So
five.
here's my question. All right, the Supreme Court was formed in 1789. All right, the very first American census was performed in 1790. Population was like 3 million. Right, so 9 justices represented
1780, and the first and only impeachment was 1805, 18 something like that. So 1789, 1805, pretty quick.
Yeah. So it can't be there. But my question is, it's a matter of scale, right? Do 9 justices now represent a diversity of opinion of 300 million people?
Well, look,
No.
you could play, there are better ways to play that game, which like you could do with the Senate and the fucking Electoral College and a whole bunch of dumb shit. Like, I'm sorry, but fucking, I mean, South Dakota and North Dakota have twice as many senators as California. Fuck you. Fuck
And
Yeah.
wait till
Yeah.
here comes the
Wyoming.
Supreme Court. What's the next Supreme Court ruling?
here's
Is
ultimately-
gerrymandering. That's coming soon.
Ultimately, here's what I'm saying. Our government should act as kind of an operating system for our country to keep things running smoothly.
We should
and
have
keep
updates.
it care of. It's time for an upgrade. We need patches. Like,
So this Hardy mentioned the Old Testament and New Testament thing. Because I think that goes exactly to this problem, right? So what these people are doing, the Supreme Court and all these originalists, is they're saying the original Constitution, which treated black people as property and did not mention women, is the Old Testament. That's the original sacred testament, right? But the fucking Bill of Rights and the amendments to it are just the New Testament, right? And you can take some of it, you can leave some of it. Some people don't even look at that shit at all, right? Because whatever. That's what they're doing. So they're doing this sort of orthodox like regression back to what was made by white supremacist real estate speculators, right? That's who they fucking were. And God bless them. I don't believe in God, but whatever. Thank you, founders, for the country. It was awesome. But they also knew that the thing had to grow and continue. And what the fascists have done is taken the Constitution and just turned it into a bag of words that they can fucking make into whatever cage that they want to put around the country.
So I do want to say that remember after we had the sedition caucus and we had those 100+ people who voted not to certify the election, and all the corporations were like, well, you can all fuck off because we're not going to support you. Well, it turns out they continued to support them to the tune of $10 million. 477 corporations and industry groups continued to donate to the 138 members of Congress who voted not to certify the 2020 election. Guess who's at the top of the list? Koch Industries.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Boeing, General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, and let's see who paid Crystal
all of
Sugar.
those places benefit from war.
Okay, well, speaking of benefiting from war,
but think about it. Like, think about why those are the companies like Boeing and fucking Lockheed. Like, why are the? I mean, Boeing don't just make planes; they make fucking nukes and all kinds of crazy shit.
War, good God, what is it good for? Oil company profits.
So those guys are like, cool, like, that's more business, right? I mean, Peter Thiel is the master of that. His entire life is designed to short the entire world, but that's also what's going on there.
Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that Palantir and Alex Karp are going on a fluff piece quest for Peter Thiel right now?
They always do.
Palantir,
So I do have some good news too, because I do like to throw good news in where we can. Trump, who's bad for ratings now, when he does his propaganda rebuttals, it has to be on shite like Rumble, Peter Thiel's Rumble, and Newsmax and things that he's not even getting the full frontal FaceTime on Fox anymore. So I find it to be very encouraging that he's now shit for ratings.
I think I said starting maybe almost 2 years ago, Trump is done. Like they will not let him be president again. That was clear a long time ago. Flynn's been like creating barriers and borders and shit around himself, and there's still a lot of sort of cult Trump people, but it's really kind of seems to be dialing down in favor of a much uglier strain of revolutionary kind of shit.
I am still here for when Trump fucking falls.
But be careful what you wish for, Heidi, because
I'm here for it.
There's going to be some very, very bad people.
Oh, no, I know that. That's something I've been writing about for 18 months.
I know that.
So there will be another avatar, but I'm telling you, as a middle-aged woman who was subjected to terrible misogyny and knew it was going to be like that and started writing about it before he was elected in 2016, and as a member of the media who became absolutely unemployable because I was very fucking loud, I am here for his fall. I'm also going to be here to fight the fight. I'm here to fight the fight for whatever we got to fight next, and you guys are all going to be a part of that, and we're gonna have a big playing field. I'm just letting you know. We got some more good news today that Sean already knows about. Got some good news.
Yes, very good news
for America and freedom of the press. We got some good news, but I'm going to be here for it. I'm here for all of it.
Why are you dropping that shit like in the last 5 minutes of our podcast like that? You've been keeping. First of all, you've been keeping shit from me.
No, you guys already know.
You're gonna leave.
You already know about it.
You guys already know.
It's a confirmation of the good news we were hoping.
She just can't announce it yet. Yeah.
You guys already know, and you're all going to be a part of it.
Now I know, but now our audience doesn't, and now they're all mad at us.
You're gonna be this is favorite pitch.
Things.
Okay, well, here's what I have to say to the audience. Stay tuned if you want to find out.
Nothing can stop what is coming.
We're going to need you. Yeah, so we are here to fight the good fight, and we want to thank everybody who supports us in fighting the good fight. Awesome. Yeah.
We hear the storm. We hear the storm.
Stop it. Stop creating gifts for the creepy opposition.
Creepy opposition.
No more anagrams. No more anagrams. That was it.
That was it. We can show the cartoon if we want, or we can wait.
Yes.
For that.
We did that one in the waiting room.
You want to show that one? The rest of the Sleek Beauty.
Yes.
Yeah, we can show that one. Okay, this is the full version of the.
Get ready.
Animated version.
Marie Cass is very angry, and she has every right to be. That was not that you don't.
Tell Marie. I'll tell her.
Yeah.
And now you just made everybody else feel even worse.
Yeah, you just created an insider group, Heidi. Don't do that. Everybody, we love everybody.
All right.
It's like radicalization.
Here's what I can say. Is that there's going to be major new developments in independent media coming up this year. And it's been a long time coming, and it's going to be really great for American democracy and
Heidi's going to be a part of it, leading that into fruition. Yeah.
So it's going to be beautiful.
Fruition will happen.
We're going to watch a fun video about, what do you call this? What would you say, Heidi? This is a Terrence McKenna lecture that I animated and just sort of rewrote the,
Yeah, this is.
I would say from the beautiful mind of Sean Connor, he wants us all to before we shuffle off the mortal coil to seek beauty.
There you go.
The great irony of our obsession with progress, advancement in technology, is that it has enabled us to live long enough so that we figure out what a scam it all is. We figured out that what you are supposed to be working for isn't worth having. We figured out that our politicians are insincere buffoons. We figured out that professional scientists are clout-chasing, grab-tailing weasels. We discovered that all organizations are corrupted by ambition. We figured it out, and by we I mean the intellectuals, but only in the sense that anybody who figures it out is an intellectual. And figuring it out means you understand that such pursuits lead to alienation, that you recognize all this as manipulation and hype. The real hard choice that you're being pushed toward, and that you might consider making before the yawning grave rings down the curtain on this cosmic drama, is between intellectual responsibility, freedom, and a devotion to elegance of thought. The final call is and will always be aesthetic, because we are monkeys, because we are so far from God that we cannot set knowing the truth as the standard for choosing among the models we can produce. Rather, we must set our aesthetic compass towards the more true, or what Wittgenstein called the true enough. Of course, the natural follow-up question is, how do you recognize it? Plato said the key lay in the concepts of the good, the true, and the beautiful. The good, what is it? Tricky, tricky, tricky. The true, what is it? Trickier, trickier even still. The beautiful, what is it? Well, the beautiful is quite easy to discern, and as a result, you are condemned to live out the consequences of your taste. And if you have no taste, you are self-condemned to an appalling nightmare. You just won't get it. All the subtle stuff will go by you because your head is filled with all of the cant, nonsense, and foolishness. The metaphor of making choices based on beauty is key. That's the way to set the compass. Not toward truth, not toward the good, but towards beauty. Because in seeking beauty, life and hope always follow.
There you go.
Mic drop.
See you guys.
Love you guys.
Good night.